Hey, Jeff.
Hello, Drew Scanlon. Or should I say, Halo, Drew Scanlon.
It's off to a great start.
Yeah.
Well, that string music means that it's time for some old school Halo.
That's right, little Halo anniversary.
That's right.
Flipping old Halo on its head with new HD graphics and exciting multiplayer. Why don't we start with the campaign?
Yeah. All right. We're going to start with Halo. This is the second mission after the Thriller Bottom. You have crash landed on the surface of the ring world. We're playing on heroic with no skulls.
No skulls.
On. And let's get going.
Okay.
Let's get loading.
Yeah, I played through the first level of this, and they made Halo a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting playing through it
Yeah.
like this because you start to see how game design has evolved, and just how people thought differently back then about first-person shooters and
Right.
stuff. So, all right, so you're looking at the new graphics. I think they look pretty good.
Yeah. It's more than just like, hey, we up-resed it to 1080.
Exactly, or like replace textures or something.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff because they have to conform to a lot of the original geometry and especially the cinematics. The facial animation looks a little strange.
Well, why don't you go ahead and hit the button and let people know why they have to adhere to all that stuff.
Yeah, so check this out.
In case you didn't
Back
already
button.
know.
Whoa.
That looks pretty good, too.
I think it looks pretty
It's actually-
good. Like, it's not super aliased. The textures look muddy sometimes, but for the most part, we got widescreen, we got HD.
I like the look of the gun.
Yeah.
It's...
That number tick down. Tension, Jeff.
What's going to happen here? Why don't you pull the left trigger to zoom in and... Oh, all right.
Nope. None of that.
That was the other weird thing about playing the first level of this game is because it was right after I'd finished playing Modern Warfare 3 that this showed up.
You clicking a lot of right stick to sprint?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the Modern Warfare and all the games that shamelessly crib from it versus Halo and all the games that shamelessly crib from that for control supremacy.
You may have noticed there the game does not stop when I change graphic modes.
Yeah, that seems like you could end up in some situations where you change at the worst possible time and it comes back to you being dead. Oh, the sound of that rifle.
Yeah.
So damn good.
I think a lot of the sound effects are originals. They've redone the music, but like the graphics, it is also toggleable. You can go back to old music. Yeah. So while I was playing this, there's a strange disconnect when I was listening to the music because that, like, you can kind of put on your rose-colored glasses when you're remembering the graphics.
Right.
But the music to me it's just seared into my brain. I can't.
You don't want to hear it redone with an
Right, so
orchestra
it
or
sounded
whatever.
weird to me. So I changed it while I was playing. But then when you're playing the game with these graphics, the old music also sounds weird. So I changed it back. So I don't know what I'm doing music-wise. But should note that I'm playing on heroic here. The game is still a challenge. I think the holy trinity of guns, melee, and grenades. I'm getting worked here.
That's
the combat sandbox holds up.
cool.
Man, all the way back here. Shouldn't take me too long to get back to where we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, skyboxes,
Yeah, that looks good.
lens flare.
Have you seen any of the stuff that they've added? They added like panels or whatever to the game. With little
terminals?
Yeah, the terminals with some
Yeah, I
cutscene
watched
stuff.
one last night. I found it on the Truth and Reconciliation. They're pretty cryptic.
Yeah, they're
I
saying,
watched it and had no idea what I was looking at.
They're saying that stuff's going to somehow tie into Halo 4, which, to go back to the beginning of the story to tease stuff for the next chapter of the story, seems a little crazy, but it's cool that they've at least, they've made some additions.
Yeah, and also there are skulls. You can turn skulls on in this game.
But you have to find and unlock those.
Correct. Yeah, you can't turn them on right from the start.
Yeah. Except for there's a first edition of the game or pre-order or whatever it is, skull, which we do not have turned on.
Correct.
This is raw ass Halo, the way it was meant to be played, I guess. I mean, how do you feel about it overall? Like from what you've seen so far,
feels like Halo.
Does it feel modern enough?
Yeah, I can jump right back into this.
Yeah.
And headshot some grunts.
And it's $40.
And it's $40.
Yeah, which that's cool.
Yeah, there's some minor things like I was saying with the facial animation and tiny things here and there that will make a hardcore fan kind of pause and go but nothing glaring that I've noticed so far. I've made it up to the silent cartographer mission.
Okay. Where's that? Is that like halfway
through? That's like the 4th mission or so.
Okay.
I will say I was playing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission or mission, which was, I think it's the mission after this before Silent Cartographer. That is a nighttime insertion. With the new graphics, you can see really well. It's also almost kind of like a day, like when they shoot movies day for night.
Okay, yeah.
It looks kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that when I think it might have been back at E3. Took a look at that. It's
supposed to be at night.
It's night. But the way they achieved night in the original game was just the draw distance was really bad. They just turned on a bunch of fog, right?
I don't know. I switched back to classic graphics during that sequence, and it was much darker and I don't know, it's more nighttimey.
Okay.
Thank God, Master Chief.
Also, I feel like it looks okay.
Yeah.
There's parts in the cinematics where I feel like back then they had to use what they had a lot more intelligently.
Mm-hmm.
So the animations, particularly in like Cortana and stuff, have to be really expressive with such low poly counts. And when you up the poly counts but keep the same sort of minimalistic animation, it doesn't ring as true.
Yeah, does it just look like a little, are they just kind of wildly gesticulating a little too much? Or is it just kind of stiff?
Or it just seems too simplistic for how realistic it looks.
Right.
But again, these are pretty nitpicky things. If you want to play some Halo on your Xbox 360, this is
and you don't feel like putting in your original Halo disc,
I think that's a horrible way to play it because the frame rate is bad all the time.
And of course they've got co-op play in here.
Right, 2 people.
Yeah.
I believe that's over the internet. Is that?
Yeah. The party, yes, the party settings straight up say open to friends. It would not say that if it was offline co-op.
Thanks for the assist on that one.
You bet. So we're gonna play a little more. I want to get to a Warthog, which is gonna drop in here.
Yeah, cool.
In a bit, so we can drive that around and see. But I've got to fend off some Covenant invaders. Hey, buddies.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think this would have been a lot weirder had they not released stuff like ODST and stuff, where games with health packs instead of just recharging health and shields.
Yeah,
like that. I think that was reminded people that that's how this originally was. So seeing it here would probably feel a lot more jarring if I had just come from Halo 3 back into Halo 1 or something like that.
Something I noticed while I was playing last night, and I'm not quite sure how to say it. I was trying to like figure it out as I was playing, but there's different sensibilities, or there were different sensibilities back then about like what qualified as an interesting encounter. So, for example, if there was a mission like this in, say, Call of Duty where you're in one place, holding off waves and waves of dudes for this long, I don't think it would really fit, because, and maybe these are just different games, but that game is all about, like, here's the next awesome thing.
Right.
It's really tightly paced, and this sort of just puts you into a situation and says, like, you have to deal with this for a while.
And you have to deal with it for a while, and there will be breaks, like as they drop in another wave back there. You kind of have a moment to kind of catch your breath and figure things out again. Whereas, I mean, you go to like the Call of Duty series,
or even like Halo
like that.
3. I mean, that's a faster paced game.
Yeah, exactly. If this were Modern Warfare 3, you would be on a mounted gun the entire time.
Yeah.
And they would be constantly landing more dudes, and you would just be dusting them, and it would be over about 90 seconds.
Yeah. Also, I appreciated the long shield recharge. It takes a long time to recharge.
Oh, have they shortened that over time?
I think so.
Yeah, geez, I guess you're...
I'm getting
that's
shot up
bad,
over
that's
here.
bad.
Yeah. I think we had a checkpoint there, so. But yeah, it's like a good 5 or 6 seconds.
Well, you should just
hiding.
spec in the direction of faster shield recharge.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have.
Yeah.
All right, so my shield is down.
5, 6, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just a perception, but I feel like it's sped up over time, and this is kind of
maybe. Yeah.
It more forces you to hang back more. I don't know. I kind of like playing more tactically like that. Also, I don't think this was in the original Halo, but when you get down to when your health bars get down to red, you hear a heartbeat in your ears.
Oh, huh.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, when they first started showing off Halo, they first started bringing, Xboxes around and saying, here's what we're doing with the Xbox, here's this Halo game. Everyone was pretty skeptical.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
About first-person shooters on a console?
Well, there was that for sure. I mean, at that point, the only kind of console-only shooter that people really looked at with any, and gave it any sort of respect was probably like GoldenEye, like a Turok maybe a little bit, but just it hadn't happened on any sort of scale that that like they were console shooters were kind of in danger of becoming their own thing, I guess, and not something that people who played traditional shooters on a PC would ever be able to respect. Because I think that those people definitely didn't respect GoldenEye the same way that console players did. So when they started bringing it around, it looked interesting, but they were showing off kind of bits and pieces, and it was hard to get a sense of like if it was really going to work, if it was going to be interesting at all to play. And I remember, they brought it by our office, and like, we were pretty stone-faced dudes when it came to previews because, it's all... You eventually get to a point where you're just like, all right, this is all smoke and mirrors. I don't know if I believe that any of what you're saying is true. And I think it was probably Ed Freeze, like, pulled a guy aside, like our boss basically said, like, I'm showing these guys like the future of entertainment here, and they're just stoned. What is going on? Are these people alive? Like, what's like just what I took from that is that he already he really believed in it. he knew that this was going to be a thing. But what they were showing, looked all right, but it was impossible to tell from those demos that Halo was going to become what Halo has become. And even in the kind of the weeks leading up to release, you ran into a situation that we still see today here and there where they were a little skittish about showing it off. There were reports that the frame rate had serious problems right up until release. Like that it was they're not showing it off at E3 here because of this. They're not letting people get a good up close look at it just yet because the frame rate is unplayably bad or something like that. And so it all seemed very tightly controlled.
I mean, when you've got something this kind of, in their minds, revolutionary,
exactly,
and you want to be really careful with how you control that.
They were very careful, but I think that just led to a lot more skepticism at the time. People were like, "Oh man," you kind of smell blood a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, look at how careful they're being about Halo. It must be terrible. And it wasn't until they sent out review kits and I actually started watching people play it for review and stuff that I think I was finally like, all right, this is pretty cool. But I think even then, I kind of had the position of hey, why don't you call me when it's got internet play? Because I had been playing PC shooters for years at that point, So this notion of hey, bring it to a LAN party. No. Let's stay home, play Quake.
Oh.
Worked. Well, I want you to check in with the multiplayer.
Yeah.
How's about?
So that's some good old Halo campaign.
Yeah.
Which I was still having fun with. I think it holds up.
Yeah, it looks like it does. They have made changes to Halo along the way and all that stuff, but the core of it seems like it's always been this. So it's cool that they're able to go back to it and still have it look like a relatively modern Halo game.
Yeah.
That's cool for people that didn't have an original Xbox, or that maybe didn't even play Halo.
Yeah.
I think it's really weird that when you hit multiplayer, it plays you this trailer.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we just loaded a different executable, Jeff.
Yep. We are now in the Reach engine.
I think people who have sort of maybe heard of this release in passing may have assumed that it was all of Halo 1
right.
in HD. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not multiplayer Halo in the sense that people would expect.
Right.
So this is the Reach engine with 6 maps from old Halos.
Do you remember how many maps there were in actual old Halo? Was it more than?
It was more than 6.
More than 6.
It was probably around 10.
Yeah.
I want to say. So Battle Canyon. This is from Beaver Creek, or this is Beaver Creek from Halo 1. This is from Halo 2. This is Halo 1. This is Halo 1. This is Halo PC. And then this is also Halo 1. So actually, let's go to Forge here so we can fly around and play, because live internet play is not up as of this recording.
Yeah.
What map do you want to look at?
Which?
Maybe this map has been remade so many times.
Beaver Creek's kind of.
Let's look at Hang 'em High here.
All right. And they've got Firefight, also.
Yes. So Firefight is. We can show it, but it's straight up the Firefight mode from Halo Reach, and reimagined on a section of the campaign from Halo 1. But again, it's created in the Reach engine.
Right, right.
So when we start here, there will be no changing of graphics back and forth.
Right.
Um,
and, you know, depending on how you end up playing...
Oh, this will not stand.
These playlists and stuff, like... I mean, you'll get the Reach, like, armor abilities and stuff as well.
Right, so if I were playing an actual game, I would have jetpack.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're in Forge, so you see all these weird, like, spawn emplacements and stuff, and I can fly around. This is not really what multiplayer looks like, but here's the map. Hang 'em high, bros.
Yeah.
A lot of fond memories on this map. I did a lot of LAN parties back in the day.
Yeah, so that's kind of the weird the weird side effect of me liking PC shooters is I don't know any of the Halo multiplayer maps from Halo 1 because I only messed with it when other people needed to mess with it for coverage purposes.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, we did that. Great. No LAN parties.
Yeah, man, this is high school right here. Yeah. I mean, I like seeing Timberland in there because I didn't play Halo PC that much, but I remember really enjoying that map. And it is sort of another larger vehicle-oriented map that is great and that people really didn't get to play because nobody played Halo PC.
Right. And they've got an interesting kind of way for you to get at. There's a couple of different ways for you to get at these maps.
Right.
So, in addition to plugging in this disc and playing on these 6 maps, it also comes with a code to download these 6 maps as map DLC for Reach. And they may actually be selling those maps separately as well. If you don't even want to buy this package at all, but just want those maps for Reach, you can get them. You can get them that way. So then you just take it. Actually, so when you go to multiplayer, it actually rings up as Halo Reach, even on this disc, for the purpose of achievements and stuff. And yeah, you can basically with that map code, you can put in the Reach disc and access those maps as well as all the other maps that are available to Halo Reach players, and just get into kind of one big playlist mess of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool that they've remade these maps, and obviously making that multiplayer workable over Xbox Live is probably a massive undertaking.
Right.
But it is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. It's it's one of those things that it's mitigated by, I mean, it's a budget project. This thing is $40. Yeah. It's mainly there to kind of retell the campaign stuff and provide the twist on that. But yeah.
And it is a great campaign. If you haven't played it, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Firefight here. Installation 04 is from almost where we were in the single player. It's a little further. If you haven't heard of Firefight, it's their wave-based survival mode.
Yep.
This is a load screen.
Firefight. This sector is your #1 priority, soldier.
All right. Oh, cool. All right. So last time I played this, I spawned as an elite.
Set.
And I was assaulting Spartan-y dudes. So yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
This is a
like Firefight against humans.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's pretty rad.
So there are 3 different versions of this area in this game, which is kind of funny. There's the classic classic mode, there's the HD mode,
right.
and then there's this mode.
This mode, that's really weird.
Yeah. Hey, bros.
But yeah, they added so they've added achievements to Halo Reach to reflect the anniversary maps, giving you some new things to do in multiplayer on those maps.
Also, it feels really odd to be flying around in a jetpack on this map.
And this one, yeah. Firefight's cool. They, this is a good one of these modes.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, this goes up past 2 players.
Right.
Well, Jeff, is there anything else
I
you'd
don't
like to
think
see?
that there's any. I mean, no, I don't want to see the flood. I guess that's kind of the eventual downfall, right? But actually, they did mention. Of course, we haven't seen it yet, but they did mention that there was some stuff they did in the library,
Right.
to kind of change how that encounter works.
Long held as the very long and tedious part of Halo.
Yeah.
And perhaps its downfall as one of the great campaigns. I disagree.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, every campaign has a slow part.
Right. I think, yeah, I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it broke the game or anything like that, but it was a very repetitive part where it's like, okay, now I'm rounding this corner and it looks like
I will
exactly
definitely grant
the
that.
same corridors that I was just in. Let's keep moving. But you know what? I mean, it's not like it's Halo 2 or something. It's fine. It's not like it's got some stupid plant dude.
Yeah, I'm going to keep playing this, and I look forward to seeing how all my other favorite levels look.
Yeah, it should be cool.
Snow levels and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so that's out this week.
Yep.
If you're interested in checking it out, it is $40. So that seems like that seems like the right price for this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, thanks, Drew.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep. See you.